Next time you have an opportunity to make a difference for animals, will you be brave enough? Yes or no?
Alrighty, and today we're going to be blog 3, activity 13. Pay attention. Don't mess it up. Don't mess around. Pay attention to your teacher and be nice.
Eat your greens.
Say your prayers, eat your greens, keep Hulkamania alive. So the term poaching refers to illegally taking a natural resource. And our job on the ground here, the way we see it, it's split into 2 different types. There's commercial poaching and there's subsistence poaching. Now, commercial poaching is when someone is doing something to make financial gain. Subsistence poaching is when someone is poaching literally to keep themselves alive, to put food on the table, or food for the pot, poaching for the pot as we call it here. Now, commercial poaching, that's your rhino horn poaching, it's your bushmeat poaching where people are laying hundreds of snares, it's your poaching for furs and skins, ivory poaching, and that's a huge problem over here at the moment. Subsistence poaching is someone who's putting up a couple of snares or spearing 1 animal, 2 animals, small animals, just enough to feed their family and stay alive.
And especially in Zimbabwe, there's a lot of subsistence poaching going on, mainly because in a lot of the rural areas out there, very, very poor communities. So they can't afford food, they can't afford, staple food for their children. So they go out and they'll lay a few snares here and there. They'll catch an impala or they'll catch a small antelope or something like that, and they'll feed their close family.
As poaching is illegally taking natural resources out of the environment, that leads to a whole plethora of problems. It's not just the wildlife that's being impacted here. It's people coming in and clearing areas of wood or poisoning river systems, and all of that has a major negative impact on the environment. This is one of the things that we have to look at, and it's not just the focus on endangered species, it's the ecosystem as a whole and how it's being impacted by humans and how poaching is directly leading to these problems.
Now, rhino poaching, and we're going to learn a lot about rhino poaching throughout this whole activity book. Rhino poaching to us is something extremely personal. We have rhino that live with us, they're like our family, but the way we look at it is the rhino is under severe threat at the moment. There's a great war that's raging here in Africa and around the world to try and wipe these rhino off the earth just for their horn. And to us, the rhino is the hardest animal to protect. People are willing to go to more lengths to take that animal out than any other animal. People are landing in helicopters, using automatic weapons, sniper rifles, military tactics. And the way we look at it is if we can protect the rhino from poachers, we know that everything else in that ecosystem is going to be looked after. And it goes back to what James is saying. It's not just about the rhino and the elephant and the sexy species. It's about the entire ecosystem, from the soil to the water to the trees, the grasses and all the other animals and insects and the birds that make up that ecosystem, because it's all interlinked. And when one part starts to fall down, the rest of it can collapse quite easily. These protected areas, these are a dying global treasure, and you can build a city anywhere, you can build a factory anywhere. You can't build a national park, you can't build a forest. But once it's gone, it's gone, and it's taken so long to get these places to what they are, sometimes millions of years, and we're wiping that out in such a short amount of time, and it's really sad to watch. But at the same time, it's motivation for what we do, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing till the last breath I take. Illegal traffic of wildlife is one of the largest criminal industries in the world. It's up there with guns, drugs, human trafficking, but it just doesn't get the attention that it deserves, and it's really unfortunate, especially for us being involved with the military and seeing the assets that are getting used to go and fight these wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And we've got us guys here just bumbling around the bush with the bare minimum, compass, set of boots, radio, maybe one weapon between 3 or 4 rangers. And
doing such a noble job as well.
Yeah, doing such an important job, and it's not just an important job for people in Africa. These animals don't belong to Africa; they belong to the world. And once they're gone, they're gone. And these guys do an incredible job in a dangerous environment. They're up against dangerous wildlife. They're up against armed poachers. They get paid a very small wage. Some of the rangers patrolling for 14 days at a time, sleeping out in the bush, not even with a tent. There's rain. There's elephants trying to step on them. There's lions chasing them. And then throw in armed poachers on top of that. And it's a really dangerous and demanding job, but it's such an important one. And I'm really glad that you guys are joining us on the other side of the world to understand a little bit more about the job of ranger.
Conservation's a global issue. It's not just us working on the ground here, it's you guys at home that can help with this thing. And as we go on through more of this activity book for you guys, we'll be explaining a lot of different ways in which we can look at conservation as a holistic thing, not just endangered species, but as a global issue.
So thanks very much for tuning in today, guys and girls. Your teacher's now going to take you through an activity which covers some of the topics that we've spoken about today.